So, question of the day. Go on.
Imagine your house is on fire and you and your daughter are trapped inside. Your significant other runs into the blaze, but he only has enough time to save one of you. He chooses to save you, leaving your daughter to perish in the inferno. Did he make the wrong choice? Should you be angry or grateful? And are you within your rights to leave him because of this? Elijah.
I don't know. I think most people would assume that he's wrong for saving the parent.
I don't think it'd be an assumption. Most people would make a calculated judgment that he's wrong. Wouldn't really necessarily be assumption.
No, I assume that everybody.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
And to me, I've never understood this because, you can have another child.
You can have another wife? Or a husband?
Yeah, can't have... No, but you too can have another child.
Yeah.
But if the woman came to you and said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna leave him because of that,"
but the thing is, should you want to have another child about that? Literally, just
Then he saved you. He saved you.
He ain't gonna save them. If he happens again, he's not gonna save them. Could pick you again.
You cannot be ungrateful.
I think you shouldn't be ungrateful. You definitely shouldn't be ungrateful because at the end of the day, he could have left you to perish in the blaze.
Can you be angry?
Alive. Yeah. Oh, of course, 100%. Your daughter's burned alive. I believe it's required. It's a very complicated situation and no one can really tell anybody how anyone should feel or not, but I think it's less about the feelings because feelings are very complicated anyways and you're not really in control of them, but in terms of decisions and what you do next, I think there probably is a right and wrong answer. I think 100% he made the wrong decision. 100%.
Really?
100%.
He was a great husband. He was a terrible father.
Incredible husband and a shocking father. His accomplishments as a husband were matched only by his failures as a father.
Think about it. Before we move on, think about it. It might have been better for the rest of the family for the mother to survive. Now, because they might have had other children. I might be adding things into the story. It's better for a two-parent family rather than all the maybe no one liked that sister. Maybe no one liked that sister. I think he knew what he was doing. I think we got to think about who started the fire. It's probably a woman with her cooking.
Somebody said children like pancakes anyway. The first one was a throwaway.
Alright, let's get started with our intro that I should have had up already.
You should have been had it.
Just had it quickly. Oh no, this is unprofessional. Why don't you just put it in the starting video?
Start mine.
You don't need it, let me read it. Pause this video right now. Go and read The Anxious Generation by
Jonathan Haidt. Haidt? I don't know how to say this guy's name.
Well.
And when you've read it, you can join us for the discussion.
Or you could join us anyway because we're about to tell you all about it. I'm Elijah.
And I'm Joseph, and welcome to the Icha Library.
We should have that. I should have that memorized by now.
100%. I did it raw.
Shoot me. Do you want to read the blurb?
Yes. In this book, social psychologist Jonathan Haidt argues that the decline of free play in childhood and the rise of smartphone usage among adolescents are the twin sources of increased mental distress among teenagers. So I thought because he condensed it to two main sources, it wasn't like a broad, this is the way in which children are raised and which messes them up or whatever. He literally said, free play telephones. He literally condensed it to those two. Maybe. It just shows you how much information that there actually is. How much information he didn't even put in.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was going to say. Because it's a massive issue and he just said,
He said, we'll focus on these 2 points specifically.
And it was so much.
And it was a 10-hour book.
One thing I would say, you have to go and read this book. This is the most important book that we have read to date. And the reason why I say that is because coming in number 2 is ultra processed people. But the reason why this is more important because your mind is more important than your body. If you don't have if your mind ain't right, your body ain't gonna be right. The food that you put into your body isn't gonna be right. You don't care about none of that. If you got mental health problems, you take suicide. Do you get what I'm saying? So this is extremely important, and I disagree with you this book because we kind of spoke about it. He's like, it's all right. This book is the most important book that you could read as a parent as well.
Yeah, no,
You're
as a parent,
you're giving your children smartphones and you think you're doing good for them?
No, 100%. If you're a parent or aspiring
You
parent,
have to read this book.
then 100%. 100%. And we might even help people understand more about themselves, even if you're not a parent, to be fair. It might help you understand more about your own childhood.
I want to go with my first point. And
Go on.
I read this book not over a week ago. I don't even remember writing this, so I'm going to be relearning this stuff.
Yeah.
A specific advancement in technology specifically affected the mental development of teens, and this affected girls more than boys. The front-facing camera. This increased the prevalence of posting selfies of oneself. This, coupled with Instagram in 2012, just boosted popularity, and we've never looked back since. Technology and social media encourage everybody to create personal content, not just for friends, family, but for strangers to see and judge. What do you think training ourselves for external validation does to our reward paths and our dopamine receptors? How does that affect us all? And think about how much more it affects the undeformed mind of an adolescent, teen or child. Think about it. When people are raised in a community, they cannot easily escape. Just like our ancestors, you learn to manage your own emotions and make the valuable relationships work. Nowadays, children don't have a maximum of 5 or 10 friends. We have connections with hundreds and thousands. What does that do? It devalues the whole idea of a relationship. We leave groups and cut off friends at a drop of a hat. If something angers us, what do? We utilize the block button. That makes me angry, so I'm going to stop that. Delete, block, report. Instead of learning to control my emotions, there's a quote that I like to use predominantly for romantic relationships, but it's probably quite fitting right now. I don't know how much desperation is optimal for a relationship to work. Let me start again. My mouth is. There's a quote that I like to use predominantly for romantic relationships, but it's probably quite fitting right now. I don't know how much desperation is optimal for a relationship to work, but I know it's not none. That's what social media has done. It's removed the desperation.
Yeah.
To have enjoy relationships.
100%. Scarcity creates value, you know, and it's like if you for example, with families, because you can't give up on family, so to speak, you work your shit out, basically.
Yeah.
And you learn how to coexist with people, you learn how to manage your emotions. If somebody annoys you growing up, no joke, but someone annoys you growing up.
No, I used to
Yeah, he used to wind me up growing up. But the thing is, here we are, you know?
Yeah.
And this is what family does.
If he could have blocked me, he probably
do you see what I'm saying? Because we slept in the same room, you got to see this person at some point. You got to work your shit out at some way, shape or form, by hook or by crook. You got to get through it. And that is what teaches people basically how to get over themselves.
Yeah.
But because, like you said, the block button conquers all.
Yeah.
You can literally block anyone for any reason.
That doesn't like me. You know, you don't focus on yourself, or let me not allow that to disturb me.
Literally.
That, you know, and this is what children are growing up with. They're learning how to block out the world. Things that bother me, block it. Get rid of it straight away. And also, we are programming children and each other to value external validation. To crave that. You know, you post up a video, whatever, and you may get four likes or whatever. You see another girl posting something, she's got 4,000 likes. She's better than me.
Literally.
That's what these kids are thinking.
Literally, her waist is slimmer, her teeth are whiter, all these kinds of things that could be down to filters anyway.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But that is the reason why it hit girls harder than because girls image their currency. But
definitely.
It's interesting to see the different ways in which social media and technology can negatively impact the youth with respect to gender. Girls are exposed more to doctored imagery online and develop anxiety and depression over their appearance, while boys are exposed more to content that damages their reward pathways and their dopamine receptors, i.e. video games and porn. Nowadays, it's gotten far worse than it used to be in the 2000s, 2010s. Parents play a game with their children called How Many Screens Can We Get in Front of Your Face? Now, millennials grew up staring into one main screen, the television. Those born in the early or mid-90s may have had a flip phone with a tiny screen on it, maybe. In 2020, children have smartphones, 7, 8, 9 inch screens. Then they have the tablet. Then they have, the iPad. then maybe they have a computer or a laptop, maybe they got a games console, Nintendo Switch or something, then they get to the TV. So they've got like 4 screens in front of the TV.
At the same time.
Bro, they've got the VR goggles, they want that shit on your eyes. Like, they want it right there. Yeah. When I was little, I knew a guy who used to climb trees. You know?
Yeah.
Children don't do shit like that anymore.
Yeah, that is funny. If you
remember Kieran's brother who climbed a tree, it was just like, huh?
You know, this is the thing in the book. Look, I don't think there isn't a review that we could shoot long enough to give you all the information in this book. So I think you genuinely have to go and read this book. There was so much stuff in here, which you didn't seem to agree on.
No, I didn't agree. There was stuff in there, but it's just look, we'll get to it. It's in my notes, anyways.
The sharp decline in mental health in adolescent children. But what does this mean? What does a sharp decline in the mental health of adolescent children mean? An increase in anxiety, depression and self-harm beginning in 2010, which directly correlates with the mass introduction with the smartphone. Let me say that again. A sharp decline in mental health in adolescent children was measured with a sharp increase in anxiety, depression and self-harm beginning in 2010, which directly correlates with the mass introduction of the smartphone. This wasn't happening in just the UK or the US, but this was globally, irrespective of ages, social classes or races. All people who were born in 1996 were affected. They were different psychologically. There were different people psychologically compared to their peers who were just born a few years earlier. So obviously, if you were born after 1996, you were coming into the age around 2010, you know, you're about 14, 15, 13, 15, whatever, and you kind of got shaped and molded by technology in a way that your peers before you didn't. So around 2010, you know, there was lots of hospitalizations for anxiety, depression, and suicide and self-harm and stuff like that. And it's funny because we never thought that social media... We never made the connection. Never thought social media had anything to do with it, you know?
To be fair, it's kind of retrospectively it makes sense because it's the first generation to go out with technology and you could never have known what the repercussions of that are going to be. Yeah, same thing with the food. Like,
you don't give people things, you don't give children things unrestricted.
Yeah, no, of course not.
Right. But for some reason...
Especially on something as powerful as the internet as well, which is like the most powerful thing we own or have as humans. Should I go?
Yeah.
It is so unbelievably easy to get distracted. Like for me personally. In fact, when I'm reading, I'll be reading these books, something very strange will happen to me. Somehow, my phone will end up in my hand and Twitter, Reddit or Instagram will be open or I'll be watching YouTube shorts. And at some point I'll be thinking to myself, how have I ended up doing this? I was doing something with a purpose. I was reading and then I'll be watching YouTube. How?
It's not even just that, you know, sometimes I will go on YouTube to figure out how to do something and I'll go onto YouTube and I will immediately forget and start going swiping on shorts.
Literally, I'll see a steak cooking video, I'll see something.
Listen, I've purposely not downloaded TikTok because I already know I'm addicted to YouTube shorts and I don't need to waste any more of my life swiping on TikTok.
Yeah, no.
So I don't have TikTok.
TikTok's the worst offender of these things. But if similar things are happening to you, it's because we flood our brain with content that stimulates our dopamine receptors. Not necessarily just porn. Maybe you're watching a movie you really like or flipping channels on the TV. This kind of abuse to our dopamine receptors means that when your brain is subjected to content that is more cognitively demanding, you find yourself struggling to focus, sort of like lifting weights in the gym. In 2017, the University of Central Florida conducted a study where they recorded a time-lapse of a kid with ADHD watching 2 videos. One was an educational math video, the other was the pod racing scene from Star Wars. In the math video, he started off tapping the table, then tapping his feet, then started stretching, started spinning his chair all around, then started doing all kinds of craziness. The fidgeting got progressively worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, right? In the Star Wars video, he didn't move one bit. He was staring at the screen like this, soaked it, all of it.
Wow.
And it is just crazy because we're training our brains to only accept content that pleases our reward pathways, that makes us, you know,
so then you've got these tech companies that are making content that's designed to grab your attention because they know, they've seen these studies. So, you know, these social media sites, they put things on there to get you. It's not good for your dopamine receptors.
It's not good for your brain. Pathways. It's literally not good for your brain.
It creates addiction. And what does that do to us? Whatever it does to us, it's doing to the young adolescent mind 10 times worse.
Which is whenever your brain tries to do something resembling work, you just give up. Your brain just wants to give up straight away. Straight away wants to give up.
And it's funny because it's actually like there's an evolutionary reason why we do that, and apparently it's because our bodies don't want to expend energy. We want to just rest and conserve energy, which is interesting. But yeah, a smartphone disrupts a child's development in multiple ways, should I say. So in the book he calls smartphones experience blockers. So smartphones increase sleep deprivation, social deprivation, attention fragmentation, and addiction. Most parents don't want their children to live a phone and technology upbringing, but if they were to ban or take the device away, then they would seem to be torturing the child by social isolation. So the parents are stuck. And this is sounding like a conspiracy from the tech companies. How did they maneuver their product in such a way where if you don't allow your children to have it, you're the bad guy?
Well, it's amazing. To be fair, it's genius level marketing.
Yeah,
it's genius level marketing. But the best marketing is the one that you don't even realize is marketing. Those are the best types of marketing, to be fair, because you can't hope to battle against anything if you cannot identify the enemy. You know? You cannot hope to do it. You stand zero chance.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's definitely crazy. A phone isn't just a phone. It's more like a personal assistant / entertainment system / communication device / babysitter. And owning one changes your entire dynamic of life.
Changes you as a person.
It changes you as a person. For example, here's a quick story that illustrates just how much having a phone on your person affects your life, right? I have a friend who's a police officer, right? This is around the time the Euros was on, this story. England had just beaten Germany. We were on the way to the pub for some celebratory libations. In fact, we was like, beating Germany never gets old. Did it in 1980, did it in 45, what a fucking hat-trick. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, there was a motorcyclist going up and down the street from Kennington to Victoria. He was just going up and down, apparently aimlessly. Immediately, my friend was like, chill here, I'm going to go arrest this guy immediately. I was like, what's going on? He's going to arrest him. And he said, yeah, he's looking for phones to steal. Could tell straight away. This is something that's seen an increase apparently in the last 18 months or so. Motorcyclists that drive up behind people with their noses in their screens, you know.
Yoink.
Swipe their phone out their hand, yoink, and accelerate off into the sunset with your nudes. Literally gone. The average person walks about in public all the time with their eyes glued to their screen and their AirPods in their ears. So no sight, no hearing. Do you know what I mean? Ridiculous, irresponsible.
Having said that, I do that.
Of course, same. Do you see my headphones on last video? You cannot see your surroundings. You cannot hear your surroundings. No animal in the animal kingdom operates this way, willingly surrendering their senses, their first line of defense against a possible attack. And this behavior translates to animal behavior because it makes us, the prey, easy targets for the phone stealers, the predators. But I just thought it was interesting how every animal in the animal kingdom, when in areas where danger is known to frequent, their senses are on alert. Like, even this, we have a cat, he lives in here. If you make like a sudden noise, he's straight away on alert. And it's like we're the only animal in the animal kingdom that we willingly surrender our senses for fun. We literally just walk around, no sight, no hearing.
That's what I was going to say. There was one thing you mentioned before at the start. One thing I hate to see, and I want everyone to stop doing this. Stop giving your 3-year-olds your iPad to shut them up. You're ruining them.
Literally.
You're damaging them. It's an experience blocker. Teach them to shut up. You know, it's kind of a skill that we all need to learn. Stop giving them your phone to mong out their mind. It's actually flooding their brain. It's getting their brain used to content. It's an influx of information, which is why they shut up, because they can't even focus on anything else. They can't multitask. It's so engaging. Literally. So when you take that away from them, you know, it's not good.
Babies' brains are literally like sponges. They're a blank slate. So whatever you put into them when they're young is what is there. Do you know what I mean?
Remember, you're getting your child addicted to a product that is going to it's going to turn them into a lifelong customer for a company. You know, you couldn't take this technology away. If you were the government, you outlawed tech, banned it, there'd be outroars.
Yeah, no, there's nothing.
I don't blame Kim Jong, whatever. North Korea, they can't have none of that stuff, you know.
Yeah, I heard Biden's like banning TikTok.
Well, they're trying to do something. They're trying to do something. It's probably just politics, anyways. I don't think it's for the good of people. But yeah, it's
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous.
So, I just want to make it clear that this book is so information dense that I'm incapable of letting it play for more than 60 seconds without pausing it to jot down some notes. I can sense a must read coming up with this. And this book, I definitely believe it is a must read. You have to, I've kind of made that clear already, but yeah. Before 2010, the rate of girls aged 10 to 14 hospitalized for self-harm was about 100 per 100,000. Immediately after 2010, that number jumped to 450 per 100,000 girls. That is a big jump, especially when you take into consideration now 50 million people in the UK alone. Just remember, we are just talking about serious cases of self-harm, not including anxiety or depression. So, you know, it's a massive jump. Extra 350 people per 100,000. Yeah. You know, it's a lot.
Nah, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Slow growth childhood. What makes humans the dominant species on the planet? I heard a quote once. Why is the lion the king of the jungle if he's not the biggest animal, the strongest animal, or the fastest animal? He's the king of the jungle because of his mentality. He looks at every other animal and thinks dinner, basically. Now, this quote is somewhat factually askew because lions don't actually live in the jungle. They live in the savannah. So no one even knows why a lion's called the king of the jungle, in fact. But what it did touch on was how animals can dominate their surroundings without necessarily being the most powerful 1v1 opponent. 1v1 against most of the predatory species in the world, human will lose almost every time. We don't have any natural weapons outside of muscles to inflict blunt force trauma, and there is certainly nothing impressive compared to the venom of the spitting cobra or the jaws of a tiger or a crocodile, for example. What makes us the dominant species is our ability to learn. Other primates, like chimpanzees, age at a consistent rate from birth to sexual maturity. Humans, however, slow in aging between the ages of 2 and 10 for the sole purpose of giving us more time to learn. Humans can find new information and combine it with what our ancestors knew to establish facts. We are the top species simply because we grow slower. Obviously, there's more to it than that, but I thought it was super interesting how humans evolved to slow aging so that we could learn more in the youth stages as opposed to other primates or other animals that just puberty as fast as possible. Yeah. And it's like evolution, you know, affects survival skills. Evolution, how does evolution know what is going to be the dominant species? It's just so interesting. I don't know how...
I read a book about evolution and Darwin and all of that. It's
ridiculously deep.
It's just...
ridiculously deep. How does evolution know what is going to be the top? What skills you're going to need to be the top?
Survival of the fittest, whatever works. Because in the beginning, you know, of humans, that definitely was not a pro. Us getting to an age... You know, getting to adulthood slow. That was not a problem.
Yeah, in fact, they said in the book, they said, like, from a lot of... Because, you know, humans have been on Earth for millions of years. Hundreds of thousands of years, let's say. But they literally said for a lot of that time, if not most of that time, it was definitely a weakness because we were big-brained weaklings asking to get eaten. That's literally what he said.
It was a glob of protein.
Just a glob of proteins. Big-brained weaklings, no natural weapons, no defense mechanisms, no karate, nothing.
But it turned into a strength now.
Look at us now. Started from the bottom, now we're here.
A decline in face-to-face interaction. From birth, in a matter of weeks, babies can control their facial muscles to copy their mothers to display smiling and laughter, which encourages parents to make them laugh. This is communication that humans are predicated to engage in. Social media disrupts that engagement as children get older, with parents admitting that they are distracted by their phones when talking to their children. So this is a communication that's being broken by phones. Just simply, you know,
just phone being
something so simple. But you know, as we get older and as time moves on, we're definitely going to see a disconnect. I mean, look at now. They say there's so much children now with autism and just attention deficit, and you know what they say it is? I don't know if it's autism, it's something else, but they say it's to do with COVID, because everyone was locked inside and children were stuck in front of the TV. They didn't get certain interactions that they would have, and in certain ages that's crucial. If you miss that, then you're either years behind or you never pick it up. So us adding in all these screens and all of that, it's affecting us in the long run.
Yeah, 100%. I remember, I think many people may probably remember this, like you watch TV when you're little and people say don't sit too close to the TV or don't watch too much TV, your eyes will go square, and it's like probably wasn't your eyes actually going square, maybe they was actually saying you're going to develop wrong or you're going to develop in the wrong way or something like that. Maybe that's what it was an allegory for. So it's just strange how there's nothing really new under the sun, and things that we've heard as children come back and turn out to be relevant.
Well, yeah, I mean, even they said in the book, I can't remember who it was, but the child came up to, I think it was the writer, the author, he said, his mother always would tell him to go outside and play. And not being on the computer and stuff like that, and he went back to her and said, how did you know that was the right thing to do? And she didn't really give a proper answer, but genuinely, you know, being on the computer, you are missing out. I mean, they said something, I might be ruining my notes here, but he said something along the lines of children are on screens up to 40 or around 40 hours a week, and that's a full-time job. That's 40 hours you're staring at something. What Ridiculous. Are you missing? What Literally. Are you missing? That's 40 hours that you could have been doing, 100%. Interacting and learning human language, 100%. Body language and whatnot. It's an experience blocker. You're taking away from, it's not even you, but it's your child losing 40 hours doing something that is for the benefit of him to stare at a screen and consume information that you're going to forget about.
In fact, almost every job I've worked at, I've been required to stare at screens. If I worked at McDonald's, you stare at screens. You work like I'm a bartender, you stare at screens on the till, whatever. So later on in life, you are going to be staring at screens. You do not want to spend your early years also staring at screens. Later on in life, you're not going to be able to run around and play and do whatever, you know, learn to gallivant around.
Do you
see what I'm saying? Can you come out? Like, you're not going to be able to do these things as an adult. You're not going to want to do these things as an adult. You're going to have actually more important stuff to do, but staring at screens is something that in this day and age is unavoidable as a grown adult, so there's going to be time for that. But as children, the most important thing, as we're going to get onto, is play. Children need to play for the same reason that kittens need to chase anything that they think might be a mouse. Evolution affects survival skills, including the things that an animal's brain teaches itself in order to survive. Cats need to be able to chase things in order to become proficient at killing mice, killing birds. Humans need to be able to play in order to develop their motor skills and to discover how not to get themselves hurt. I need to drink because it's fun. And fun is important. We need to develop our brains, right?
Yeah, no, that's what it is.
We need to develop our brains.
Mammals need to play.
100%.
That's how we learn. As opposed to
the super important one for me was like learn how not to hurt yourself. Do you know what I mean? Because like you have to be in situations where there's risk. If there's no risk, then you're not learn risk management. Yeah, that makes sense. So children used to play all the time out in the day. Remember, my dad was always telling us like, oh yeah, we'd play till it was dark outside or whatever. However true that was, it's up to him. But at the same time, children weren't getting drastically more hurt than they are now. Do you know what I mean? So
conformity attraction. Sometimes we use the wrong word and we call it peer pressure. Conformity attraction is a survival instinct that's deep rooted into our genes. For example, if our ancestors saw that nobody else was trying to pet the saber-toothed tiger, then conforming to what everybody else was doing was probably a good idea. We still have these survival genes that leads us to do things. So when children go to school and all the other children have an Instagram account, guess what your child is going to want?
Yeah.
Conformity attraction. So these tech companies know this.
Oh, of course. They've done their research.
They pump this Instagram out to everybody, and guess what? Your child wants it, and your child believes that they actually do want it. But it's not peer pressure, but it's conformity attraction, which is very, very interesting.
That is extremely interesting. And the funny thing is, like I said, that's what marketing is. Marketing is making somebody believe they need a product without knowing why. So
that is so true.
It's all lies, really. It's all lies, smokes, mirrors. But and it's the kind of thing. These platforms as well, they don't require any form of age verification recognized by any kind of governing body. You check the box. You type your birthday in. I mean, that's it. Literally. It is genuinely ridiculous how easy it is. Like, there was a bit in the book where they was talking about, I may be reading my note as well, but there was a bit in the book where they was talking about a girl that was like, she found her way onto Pornhub or whatever. She found my way onto Pornhub. She said there was no form, there wasn't even an age prompt. She said there was no age prompt. She's just there, porn. That's it.
Listen to me. I didn't believe stuff like that before, right? I was trying to download a YouTube video. And I went onto a YouTube downloader, and straight away, bang, pop-ups, straight onto porn. Straight away. Hardcore stuff.
Of course, straight away.
I decided to do my due diligence. I decided to do my due diligence, and I scoured the site to make sure that if there was anything juicy. But no, it's I'm not even halfway through my quotes. So I'm not close.
I've got some big. I've only got a few left, but I've got big ones. Mine are big ones. Yeah.
An organisation did a study on what happens when teens increase their social media use over 1 year, and what happens to the state of their mental health the following year. They found an increase in mental health problems specifically over the years 13 to 16 years old. This proves that the age limit for Facebook and Instagram is at 13 years old is still too young. So, we allow all 13-year-olds to have Instagram accounts, but there's a study that shows that if they use it more, or if they use it, it can increase their mental health problems. So yeah, I thought.
Yeah, no. 13 is way too young to
because
be on
their mind is still an adolescent mind.
Yeah, no,
still forming. Like, as I said, these companies they want your child to use this as young as possible, so that it can become an important factor of their life.
Literally,
and they will use that forever. I mean, think about it. I'm probably gonna. I don't know this for an actual fact, but I think everyone would answer the same. What is the most popular social media app?
It's either going to be Instagram, or it's going to be Facebook, or it's going to be
one thing that is super duper popular right now is TikTok, right? Super duper popular. And who's their audience?
Yeah, it's the young people.
All the young kids are on it.
Doing them dances.
The young kids are on it. They're hooked. Why are they hooked? Because they can't handle the use of their whole mind. I mean, they get hooked and that's it. They think they like it, and maybe they do, but they're addicted. You can't take that away from them.
Yeah, you definitely
You cannot take that.
Look, adults can't manage addiction, So children, where their brain hasn't even developed yet, they definitely can't manage addiction. And they even said, like, your prefrontal cortex hasn't finished developing until your mid-20s, Mid-20s, that's me. Like, genuinely, I've just now reached mid-20s. It's ridiculous. And the prefrontal cortex is the bit that you need for, delayed gratification, self-control, and, resisting temptation, these things. So if you're addicted, 10 years before your prefrontal cortex is finished developing, you stand zero chance. You literally stand zero chance. And these companies know this, like you said. They literally know this, which is why they do what they do. They target.
Let me say this one. This one is quite a long one. Defend mode and discover mode.
I love this.
Yeah, it's amazing. This book is full of nuggets of gold. But yes, defend mode and discover mode. These are two settings, if you will, that have been handed down to us from our ancestors through our genes. It's all a survival instinct. I'll give you an example. Discover mode. Think of a tiger. He's top of the food chain. He walks through the jungle looking for opportunities, not threats. He's not checking his back, looking for predators. He's focused on opportunities, prey. Defend mode is quite obvious. Think of a rabbit or a mouse, They aren't focusing so much on opportunity because they're too busy looking for threats, Which mode do you think is more beneficial for a student going into a university environment? I'm sure everybody would agree. A confident, open, young person engaging and looking for opportunities, right? Jonathan, the author, said that he noticed... His name was Jonathan, right?
Yeah.
Jonathan, the author, said that he noticed on university campuses how once the last of Gen X graduated and Gen Z started the first year of university, things that were perfectly fine to say pre-2010, but after 2010, they were now harmful and dangerous. That is classic defend mode. People nowadays always looking for threats like a scared little rabbit. Hunched over, staring at their phones because they are afraid of interacting with each other. They are missing out in opportunity. Being on the defense constantly makes one anxious. Does that explain the situation that we are all in today? Everybody's anxious and everybody's scared. Everybody is in defend mode, we're looking for threats. Everything that people say, that's harmful.
What did you mean by that?
Yeah.
That is an excellent point.
So, we need to switch from this defend mode into attack mode, into discover mode.
Discover mode.
Which is interesting. So social media has kind of switched us from discover mode into defend. We're constantly, anyone can attack us at any time on the phone.
100%. 100%. Cyberbullying, for example.
Yeah. So,
it is crazy how on edge everybody is, and how it's like the characteristics of the people that you see nowadays mirror the characteristics of prey in the animal world. Like you said, the rabbit twitchy, you know, constantly looking for. And it's crazy though. It is crazy though because we laugh, but it's actually true. You know, so it's not even funny really. But
I had a kind of philosophical point.
Right? God,
you know what social media is like? Social media is the forbidden fruit. We've had a slice of that forbidden fruit, and now we are self-conscious. You know, Adam and Eve walked around naked, and they were comfortable with their natural conscious self. They had the fruit, and then they became self-conscious. You know, they started covering themselves.
Yeah.
And that's what social media does to us. How many 10 out of 10 girls do you see when you're walking down the road? None. Or maybe one. But on social media, it's full. I mean, look, Joseph, I know you can understand how it feels to be an ugly guy, but...
I knew something was coming. I knew it was coming.
But
the way you're smiling.
Imagine how a young girl feels as she's comparing herself to these 10 out of 10 girls that she thinks are everywhere.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're letting your 13-year-old girl or young girl go on this stuff, and they're seeing all this. I wonder why they bloody want to cut themselves.
100%, and it is extremely sad, but it's also, like I said, marketing is genius because they don't only do this with people, but I'm going to use an example with food, for example. I remember we talked about this. Like when ice cream companies want to market their ice cream, they don't use ice cream, they use mashed potato because ice cream will melt under the lights and things like that. And it's just marketing tricks and lies that they tell themselves and tell us, I should say. And with people, with models, they do the exact same things. They do this, they do that, you know, things are tucked. Waists are not as slim as they may appear. You know what I mean? And it's like filters, for example, is another great one. Every single girl I know of or used to know of or have met in my life uses filters. Every single one.
Do you know what? It's funny. One thing that I didn't foresee, but nowadays, when famous people Photoshop their images, they get vilified. So, like, in the news, I think it was one of the royals, Kate, edited her photo.
Oh, okay.
And people saw it, and it was like, I don't know, they got in trouble. You get Kim Kardashian and all of that, they get in trouble. Or they get told off because it's not good for the girls, you know, that follow them to see their photos edited.
Yeah, that's people in defense mode, you know? That's literally people in defense mode reacting to that. But what I think is also interesting is, for example, Cardi B posted a picture of herself on Twitter with no makeup and she was slaughtered online. And she did look mad, to be fair, to the people who were slaughtering her. She did look mad, but it's crazy because it's just like the image of herself that she purports to everybody is so fake. That it's like you see her natural self and you're like, oh my god, is this like the kind of, and it's literally just does so much damage in so many different ways because it's altering your perception of what's real. And it's very true, like you said, you walk down the road, you don't see any 10 out of 10. Like,
no, I don't see any. I'm been looking. Can't see them.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It genuinely is crazy. Let me get our next one. Why is it that parents constantly worry about what might happen to their children in public, but worry far less about what might happen to their children online?
None at all.
Oh,
none at all.
Far less is very generous, isn't it?
None at all.
They don't worry. Statistically speaking, a paedophile waiting outside of school with sweets to lure children into his van is about as likely as a rapist waiting for women in short skirts to walk down this dark alleyway. On the internet, all manner of haram things may be freely accessed at the click of a button, and so it makes sense that the internet is where these deviants go to satisfy their inclinations. On the internet, vulnerable young people can find gore, which can desensitize them to extreme violence. They can find porn, which if overused can lead to damaged dopamine receptors and even future erectile dysfunction. They can even find videos of people, and sometimes doctors, telling them to cut their genitals up and take life-altering hormone drugs in order to be themselves. The internet has an enormous capacity for damage to young people for reasons that most of them do not know, and yet we are all told as children, don't talk to strangers. Statistically, strangers probably are not going to do anything to you. None of us was told anything about the internet. We wasn't told about the dangers of the internet. We was told what to not look at, but wasn't told why to not look at it. But every single one of us was told, don't talk to strangers. And it's just so crazy how parents are worried about the wrong things. They're so focused on where the danger isn't.
Yeah. I mean, even porn is a massive topic. It's a massive topic. But everybody knows when they were younger they're not really supposed to be watching porn, but you don't know why. I don't even think parents knew why.
Parents don't say why, I
don't think parents know why, but it does screw with your dopamine receptors. People get addicted to that and they can't get off it. You know, I mean,
and they prefer it to
there's
real
a massive
sex,
porn addiction going on. There's a lot of guys out there that watch it every night. Not me, but there's guys. But there's guys that watch it every night, and it takes over your life. Imagine not being able to sleep without going on. That's an addiction.
100%.
You can speak to guys like, could you give porn up even for a week? No.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's an addiction, and it only gets worse.
Waiting for their girl to go to sleep, It's ridiculous.
Can you imagine?
It's ridiculous.
Guys with their girlfriends waiting for their girlfriend to go to sleep to jump on porn.
Ridiculous.
That's how powerful it is.
It's like you prefer it over real sex now. It's like real sex is no substitute.
Yeah. It's
so porn is a massive.
You lot don't know what you're giving your children. You ain't got a fucking clue. You ain't got a clue.
But again, like we said, it's the first generation. I would say us is the first generation to go out with the internet. So how could we know? How could we really know the extent and the dangers and the
I don't know.
the barriers are?
Put it this way. It's kind of. If I said to you, I got this device for you, that's this amazing super device, and there's everything on there is free. Everything's on there is free. You can use it, and it's gonna make you. It's gonna make you so happy. You'd be like, yeah, but what's the catch?
Yeah, what's the catch?
I don't have to pay for Instagram. I ain't got to pay for social media. I ain't got to pay for this. What's the catch? And if you're not paying for it, then you are the product.
Yeah. You
are the product. Someone's selling your data, your attention to somebody else. Someone's paying for it.
That is an excellent point.
One thing I did like about this book is that it not only did he give us the information, just like Chris Van Tullen in Pro Ultra Process People, but he gave us practical solutions. Chris Van Tullen didn't give us nothing. He said
he said from day. He literally said, "Don't ask me for no solution." He said, "I'm just here to tell you what's going on. Don't ask me for to fix nothing.
Do what you will.
Do what you will." He even said, "Like lawyers are don't ask me for nothing."
He said he had to lawyer up, innit?
Don't ask me for nothing.
But yeah. This guy, Jonathan, I don't know his name. He gives some practical steps that we can do to not reverse, but to mitigate the damage that's being done. But we'll get to that towards the end. But one thing he did say is bring back child autonomy. From birth, children are curious, and curious is to put it lightly. Really, they're straight into discover mode. If you do not give children their autonomy in the real world, guess where they will exercise their autonomy once you give them a device? The internet allows your children to share pictures of themselves to unknown adults. The internet will show them all kinds of things on porn sites with no verification necessary. Unlimited access and full autonomy. Children are spending 6 to 8 hours a day on social media and behind screens. If you add those hours up, how many days, months and years of their lives are they losing? What opportunities are they missing out on? Might they have exchanged part of what's necessary for human development?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. When you start looking at the figures, you start looking at the numbers in terms of how much time we, not even just children, but children as well, but we humans spend on social media. And remember that screen time thing that you showed me on the phone, which I didn't even know
What's
about?
Yours?
I haven't even looked at mine in a long time, but when I did look at it, I'll look at it in a second. I'll look at it in a second.
Screen time.
It's ridiculous because you're looking at it, you're like, surely not. You're looking at that, surely not. All that time on like whatever, Netflix or whatnot.
Oh, so let's go a week. It's an under activity. Do you have it?
I'm on.
So, oh my god. So for the week.
Yeah.
Last week gone, my total screen time is 48 hours and 17 minutes. Damn, after we just reading 48 hours.
Right? Mine's like 6 hours. It says, wait, where's it? Oh, no, I put day.
My daily average, it's 18% down from last week.
Total screen time, 23 hours. 23 hours.
Is that for the week?
For the week. Daily average, 3 hours, 17 minutes.
My daily average is 7 hours.
Oh, that's disgraceful.
On social media, it's 17 hours and 36 minutes. Bloody hell. So
mine's 15 hours on social media.
So this week, you guys, turn on your screen time.
Turn on your screen times. You'll learn a lot about yourself.
This week I've done 13 hours on Snapchat. After me lecturing people about social media.
I've done 6 hours on Instagram.
I've done
6 hours
I don't use Instagram. See, I've got 10 hours on YouTube and I've got 3 hours on Reddit. But yeah.
I've done an hour on one football. Jesus Christ.
Daily average. If you scroll down, it tells you how much times you pick up your phone. 197 times a day I pick up my phone.
I've got 192.
If you split that out for 24 hours, and really if you split it up, not even 20, we sleep 8 hours a day. So you do like 16 hours. How much times is that an hour? 10 times an hour?
Yeah,
How much times is that a minute?
That's crazy. He's reaching for it. He literally says, first use after pickup, Instagram 174. 174 times I've pressed Instagram straight away after picking up my phone. This just shows you.
They got you.
They got me. They literally got me. You know what it is? I use Instagram to message a lot of people. That's probably what feeds into it. It's definitely not all of it, but it definitely feeds into it because I message a lot of people on Instagram.
You do some work on that, do you?
Huh?
Your work?
No work of any kind is on Instagram. That's bad though. It is bad, but yeah, 100%.
That's bad. I'm going to do nothing about it.
I'm going to do more Instagram. I click on Instagram right now.
It's rookie numbers.
Literally pump those numbers up. Literally pump those numbers up. But that is disgraceful though. That is genuinely disgraceful.
We're not as bad as them because they don't even know how much they do.
Literally,
they think, I don't really use my phone.
Yeah, no, 100%. And you know what's funny? If you have a computer or a laptop or a tablet, this ain't all of it. You know, this ain't the whole story. This ain't. If you got a TV, this ain't the whole story.
That TV's running 24 hours.
Oh god, this ain't the whole story.
They don't even know what the off button is on the TV.
Oh, listen, the canteen at work, there's like a place where people eat their lunch at work, and there's a TV on the wall, and it's literally. But I went down there when I came into work. I came into work at 5, and there's a security guard sitting right in front of the TV like this. Literally, he was watching Judge Judy. He was literally just sitting there watching TV. When I went for my break like 4 hours later, the same security guard was sitting there in the same seat in front of the same TV, and I was just like,
I need his job.
It's ridiculous. Listen, he's not doing no work of any kind.
Are you going?
Yeah, let me go. I've got 2 left, but these are my big ones.
Alright, let me go again because I've got a few. Adolescent children's brains are very malleable. Think of cement. If you try to draw your name in cement when it's wet or bone dry, it just won't work. But if you catch the cement at the right time between wet and dry, the imprint of your name will catch and it will stay forever. That's how their mind is. So between certain ages, 13 to 16, they're very malleable. You get social media, you Facebook in there, you get Instagram, bang, for life. That's it. And this is what these social media companies want to do. They know about this, so they're targeting your children, and you lot are letting it happen. Disgraceful.
It is definitely disgraceful. That is a very good analogy to use, to be fair, in regard to the cement.
I stole it right out of the book.
I did not do any of my own research. But I mean, look, when you have when it's perfect, sometimes it requires no alteration. You know, it doesn't require you to use your own words, but it's genuinely true because them type of ages, and the way we know that companies know those type of ages because we look at what are the age restrictions. 13. Yeah. Those are age restrictions for most of. Yeah. I had a Facebook account for the first time when I was 13.
Yeah, as soon as I was 13,
literally,
I was like, well,
straight into the Matrix.
Like,
straight into the Matrix. Oh, it's ridiculous.
Children are not fragile; they are anti-fragile, just like trees. Scientists tried to grow a biodiverse world inside a massive studio, and in short, they failed. They found out that trees need the resistance of wind to strengthen them so that they can support their own weight. Trees that haven't been battered by the wind do not gain the strength to support their own weight once they get big enough. They simply fall over. And it's the same with plants. The biggest yielding plants have been put through something called low stress training, where they bend the plants and they tie things around them and bend them so that they can stress them, so that they can become stronger. And children are anti-fragile too. Keeping them in the warm and the dry, cuddled up with smartphones and devices, is hindering them and blocking their experience and what is necessary for their development. Children need stress training. Don't you think it's crazy that there are so many parents out there that make no effort to read or learn information about how to bring up children? They just wing it.
Yeah, just do it.
They just wing it. I think that's quite disgusting. You know, they are the most important responsibility you could ever have, and you just wing it. And you wonder why your children are fucked. Because you fuck them.
Yeah, sabotage. It's genuinely sabotage. It's akin to smoking while you're pregnant. It's sabotage. You're literally setting them up for failure. Yeah. And they don't know any better. Like, you're a child, you have an iPad, what are you going to do? Information
you could possibly have in your pocket.
Oh, come on.
And you don't even bother to check it.
It's ridiculous.
You just wing it.
It's literally ridiculous. You just think, I know what I'm doing. I turned out alright, right? That's what they think. That's literally what they think.
Well, you didn't.
Reaction wood. Biosphere 2. Reaction wood. That's
what I get in the morning.
Oh, that's one of my jokes. I was gonna do. He stole it. He stole it out. Took the words out of my mouth.
Reaction wood.
Literally reaction wood.
Dying.
I stole the joke right out of my book, you know. Stole it out of my notes. Biosphere 2 was an experiment conducted in Arizona in the 1980s. Scientists wanted to see how, if at all, humans might set up colonies in space or on other planets by generating our own necessities for survival. Example, growing trees. What they discovered was that the absence of wind in the biosphere meant that the trees lacked the necessary conditioning to support their own weight past a certain point, and the trees would fall over on their own. This goes back to the old adage, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. There are examples in various arenas of life that we can draw on to verify this. In the gym, when you lift weights, you're breaking your muscles down so they can grow back stronger. When doctors apply a vaccine, they're exposing you to a tiny sample of a disease to teach your immune system how to fight it. Obviously, not everyone agrees with the whole vaccine thing, but that is a premise of vaccines anyways. Behind it. Depriving children of activities and experiences that are necessary for them to develop correctly is child abuse, right? It is actually child abuse. And if it's not, it should be regarded as child abuse because they need these things. It's like not feeding them. They need these things. And we're depriving them of it because, we're tired? Had a long shift at work? Don't want to deal with the kids? Can't be bothered? You know? Buy them McDonald's because we can't be able to cook? Things like this. Like, you're literally setting them up for failure. You're raising children on screens and McDonald's. Setting them up for failure. They stand zero chance.
No, it is child abuse. Especially when you add these things up.
Yeah,
Screen time, obesity as well.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Your child's obese and you're sticking him in front of the TV instead of letting him go outside and get some exercise. And then you're feeding him crap. Along with it.
On top of that, it's not even real food.
Despicable. You should be ashamed of yourself.
You should go to prison.
You should be ashamed. You should be flogged.
Death penalty. Bring back hangings. Stoned.
Should exterminate your family.
I got one left, but it's a big one. Most of them, to be fair, most of these are big ones.
I've got a few, but I'm just going to say the most important ones because there's too much.
Yeah.
There's too much.
Honestly, there was so much information.
There's too much information.
There's so much information. I purposely didn't put some notes in because I thought I was going to get too carried away with...
Yeah, no, I'd rather put them in and not say them.
Fair enough.
There's actually a few good things here. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to send you some and you can say them because there's
well, they're too good to not make it.
Yeah, some of them are too good. Alright, say one. Go on, say your one.
Alright, constant comparison triggers alarm bells. The human psyche is riddled with alarms designed to elicit different responses. The first time you burn your finger or knock your funny bone on a door, the pain that follows is a warning that whatever you just did was bad for you. Don't do it again. There is another alarm in our heads. It's called anxiety, and it's what humans experience when we're not sure we are where we should be or are where we should be. We're not sure we are who we should be or are where we should be. With the introduction of social media to our youth, however, especially young girls, are comparing themselves to unattainable standards of physical attractiveness, unrealistic weight, unrealistic dimensions, so that anxiety rises. And anxiety is like an alarm bell that lets you know, you're not where you should be, but because we're getting our frame of reference from screens, and we're getting a frame of reference from, like you said, all the 10-10 girls that we're seeing online, behind filters, behind makeup, behind this, behind that, behind lights, wind machine, constant anxiety all the time because it's unrealistic expectation to live up to. Like they say, girls, get given Barbies, boys get given He-Man, and He-Man's not one that really gets talked about. Barbie gets talked about, but He-Man doesn't really get talked about. He-Man, master of the universe. This guy's got like delts, he's got 6-pack, 8-pack, 10-pack, all of that.
From somewhere.
Do you see what I'm saying? Action Man. There's a character called Action Man when I was growing up. Even just the name Action Man. Every superhero, Marvel superhero, DC superhero I can think of had like massive muscles, 6-pack, all of that. So we're getting a frame of reference from things that aren't even real. Same way we're eating food that's not even real and it's poisoning us. Like physically it's poisoning us. Mentally.
Yeah. Alright, I'm going to say mine. I've kind of should have given you one. But you'll see why when you read it.
Yeah.
But you can read it after.
Yeah, go on.
The primary method of communication for young people, as we know, is texting. So they tend to have their phones on vibrate. So... do you usually have your phone on vibrate?
Yeah, I did. Today's like the first day I didn't, and you saw what happened.
So, so why do you have it on vibrate and not loud?
The main reason I have it on vibrate is because it annoys me when it's constantly ringing.
Isn't that telling us something? We all do that. We
ignore
all
red
do
flags.
it. This is telling us something, but we say, oh, let's silence it.
Literally.
So, you know, your brain's trying to tell you. It's too much. But yeah. Did you know the average teenager gets 192 notifications a day? This is added with 197 pickup.
Insane.
192 notifications a day. That works out to be one every 5 minutes. No wonder they can't bloody focus on anything. And they have attention deficit disorders. That's the average user.
That's
if
crazy.
we talk about girls, who on average are heavier users and text more, the number can be as high as 1 notification every minute of the day.
That is
That
insane.
leads to device addiction. This trains your brain to receive a constant stream of stimulation.
That is crazy.
What is this doing to the children? Can someone think of the children? Can someone please think of the children?
You know what's crazy? Imagine if you had somebody doing this every minute for the entire day. Do you
and
know
when
what I
they
mean?
stop, you're like, I want to.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
You know,
it's crazy, and it's
hell.
very true when you say with regard to boys and girls, because like boys, like I didn't even know it was that high for boys, but it's obviously gonna be thousands of times higher for girls, whatever. Yeah. And in fact, I saw this study. It was on YouTube. I saw this study on YouTube where literally a guy downloaded Tinder and a girl downloaded Tinder, and it was just ridiculous. The gulf of difference in inbox was flooded.
Yeah, within 20 minutes,
seconds. Literally within minutes, and like the boy was like, he wasn't doing bad. He was, was getting replies here and there, and I thought like he was getting a lot of. And then I saw her one. And I said, it's not the same. It's not the same.
Completely different.
It's really not the same, and that kind of thing you can't. Technology is too powerful. It's too powerful for anyone. Yeah. No, it's ridiculous.
Is the first thing that you do when you wake up reach for your phone? I think I blundered that.
No, the first thing I do
is the first thing that you do when you wake up is reach for your phone.
I don't even open my eyes.
Yep, you're addicted. Well done. Congratulations, you're addicted.
The first step to solving is identifying the problem.
I think one day a week, everybody should go tech free.
Oh yeah.
One day a week. It's very difficult because obviously you need it, but you know, it's
you need
it's
it like a crack at it. It needs crack.
Right.
Scientists examined the effects of sleep deprivation. Teens who had less sleep scored higher scores on internalization. So that's depression, and also higher scores on externalization, which includes aggression and a lack of impulse control. So in other words, when your sleep is disturbed, you are much more likely to display behavioral problems. So what do you do when you are into a show and it's getting late? You stay up. That is true. What do you do when you are in bed when you're supposed to be sleeping? You're doom scrolling. Or like Elijah, you're watching gay porn. Choking the chicken, flogging the one-eyed snake, skinning the sausage. In all seriousness, this is what these smart devices are doing to children, depriving them of sleep, which, as I explained, develops behavioural problems. This is why depression and anxiety is on the rise. It's 100% true, to be fair, because it's literally, depression and anxiety has never spiked like it's spiking now, or spiking in the last 10 years or so. Everybody, and the thing is, people notice this without noticing the underlying reasons why, or thinking anything of it. They, why is everyone depressed these days? Everyone's talking about, I have depression, I have anxiety. Those two words.
And they talk, you know what they say? They say, it's just we're more aware about it. We're always like this. No, we weren't.
Definitely not.
No, we weren't.
I never ever, when I was growing up, I never ever once ever thought I was depressed or anxious ever. Ever.
You get onto social media and you see everybody's lives that looks so much better in comparison because it's snapshots, and then you look at your own like, I'm not happy.
100%. Like, you're connected to all these. Back in the day, I say back in the day, but back in the day, like pre-social media.
Back in the day, you're only 21. so what do you know about back in the
24,
day?
I'm an old man. But what you saw was what you saw. Maybe you saw it on TV, you saw it on MTV Cribs or whatever people was watching. What you saw was what you saw. Now you're connected. Like, you can go on Instagram and follow Drake on Instagram and just look at his life and just see what this guy does.
And see how crap your life
and just
is.
Do you see what I'm saying? And it's like, you start comparing, and this is where the alarm bells start coming in, the anxious alarm bells, because you get your frame of reference from this guy who's a billionaire or whatever. Most people in the world are not billionaires. So when we get a frame of reference from things that are not real or things that are not average, so to speak, your brain starts responding, why am I not a billionaire? And you're depressed, anxious.
Yeah. I like how you just winged my name into that.
Oh, of course. Of course. It makes more sense, to be fair. No, because you'd be more likely to watch that, is what I'm saying.
There is an emotional difference between men and women. If a woman is happy, there's a 1 in 3 chance that her friends will become happy too from being around her. If she's depressed, then there's an even better chance that her friends will become depressed. With that same study done on men, the results found that they will not become depressed from being around one of their friends that are depressed. Women are better at empathy and more sensitive in social settings. And this ties into sociogenic illness and trans people. So sociogenic illness is a condition which a large group of people report similar physical symptoms that are traceable to social factors as social interactions within environment. And this is what's said in the book. It's interesting how children are being referred to gender identity clinics that have displayed no symptoms or signs from birth. So these children haven't displayed any symptoms or signs, but it's saying it's a sociogenic illness. People are seeing these things and they're kind of identifying, or just say they report similar physical symptoms that are traced to social media. So that's his answer as to why there's so much of this trans and gay and whatnot that's going on. Not my words. Don't shoot the messenger.
Listen, the windows are there. That's what I'm saying. The windows are constantly there. They're always there. We're in danger. But
I've had this discussion with people, and I've always said, alright, look, it's not my place to say about this trans stuff or whatever, right? I don't care. That's their issues, right? But when you're trying to find out the truth, it's a good idea to follow the money. Who benefits from surgery? Government.
Literally.
It's the government are benefiting. They're making money. If you go to America, right? If you think about America, because obviously NHS still makes money for someone, right? It's free, but in America, then procedures cost thousands of pounds. So whoever's standing to benefit, you got to think about what are they doing? Are they telling people?
Either they're lucky or they set that shit up.
They set that shit up. Oh, you can be whoever you want, no problem. I can help you. Just pay me 15 grand.
Yeah,
you know,
literally.
Someone's making a lot of money off it. So
100%.
I would argue that there isn't innocent intentions.
And obviously, when in these situations, well, like I said, anxiety is an alarm bell. It makes you feel like you're not who you're supposed to be or where you're supposed to be, and that creates identity crisis.
Yeah, of course.
You know, so people are experiencing identity crisis where they're like they don't know who they are and.
They want to fit in.
Yeah, they want to fit in, and you know these kinds of things are becoming more and more popular by the day. Especially now that we have the internet to connect us to. Back in the days, like if you was a deviant, so to speak, you was just in your corner. You didn't know any other deviants. It's what it is. They're in their corner. You're in your corner. Now they're connected by the internet.
I'm gonna say, well, I've got 2 more. Snapchat streaks are criminal. They force children to send a snap to their friends every day or they will lose the score. That is embedding the behaviour inside of them. They're hooked. Yeah, every day, I've got to send a Snapchat.
Make sure
I've got to go onto Snapchat.
Yeah,
you know, it's not that choice. I have to go on there.
Remember when I told you I have a Snapchat streak with Chloe? Chloe's my girlfriend. I have a Snapchat streak with Chloe. It's like 600, and it's genuinely got to the point where I'm like, this is
You
ridiculous.
Can't stop.
You can't. Now it's too high to stop.
So why don't you?
It's the same thing on Duolingo.
So if you broke it, would you be annoyed?
It nearly broke, and the thing is, I had to press the restore button and like do some techie little.
So if it restores, you'd have to pay for that at a certain point. They could Snapchat.
No, there was
money.
There is a thing where I think you get 1 free one, then you have to start paying for it if you miss. Exactly. Yeah. So I use the 1 free one. So that's me. That's the freebie done. You know.
On my Snapchat, the restore button is a big orange button and it's annoying.
It was right there, but I figured I had to get rid of it because it was next to your name, in fact. Because we had a streak that died, and I was just like,
I've still got it. It's saying restore.
Basically, this is what you do.
Oh, that's quite simple.
Literally done. Literally.
I was annoyed. I was like,
it just looks so annoying. It's obnoxious, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just
obnoxious
there.
Orange button on the thing. But yeah, it has to be annoying for you to do the streak. That's what they want you to do. They don't want you to press the X button. It's like when you go on these sites, you're watching a movie online or something, you see the pop-ups, the tiny X button in the corner to get rid of it. It's tiny in the corner.
Yeah.
It's like the same color as the
Sometimes
background.
behind
They
them
don't.
will
Do you
pop
see
up.
what I'm saying? They don't want you to click that. They want you to click the ad because someone's getting paid for that.
Well, they put ads on top of the X button, so it's guaranteed money.
100%.
Guaranteed penny. Or
There's a site that I used to use. I don't use it anymore because it's so annoying now.
Sounds illegal.
You move the mouse and pop-ups come up. Like, you've moved the mouse. You haven't even clicked anything yet. You move the mouse and ads pop up in front of your face, like 3 or 4 of them, and it's just not worth it because it's pay per click. Someone's getting paid per click or per mouse move or whatever it is. But follow the money is definitely 100%.
Yeah,
Is
always you can find out the motivation.
I feel like it works more often than it doesn't work. It's probably not perfect, but it works more often than it doesn't work. So you'll probably figure out a lot. It's not nothing. It's not nothing. It's quite something, in fact.
Yeah, it's quite something.
Emotional difference between men and women.
I think I actually did. I send you that.
Yeah.
No, I sent you that. I think I said that one. Let me see.
Did you? Oh,
yeah, I did. Alright, so let me go on to the last one then.
Yeah, you did.
Overprotection leads to anxiety. Children need to be given the opportunity to try things. They need to master danger so that then they can become competent. For example, flying a 400-ton aircraft is dangerous, but a pilot is competent because he has mastered the danger. So children need to be trusted with a knife in the kitchen or go to the corner shop by themselves. This lets them know that they know within themselves that they are capable and competent. It's confidence, which is the opposite of anxiety, which is uncertainty. So parents are, wrapping their children up in wool. We don't let them go out by themselves. Oh, because of the rapist and this and that.
I remember, what's it called? Jenna said that to my dad one time. My dad was like, "Who'd want you?" And I was like,
Jenna said something about
because he was going to send her to the shop or whatever. And Jenna was like, "Oh, if somebody grabs me," and he was like, "Who'd want you? Why would they want you?" And I was just like, it's just a savage thing a parent could say, to be fair. But to be fair, I kind of agreed with why he said that, because like, you're being ridiculous. Like, why would somebody grab you on the like?
Do you know what I mean? It controls people, man, and this is the thing, right? This is the thing. Who does it benefit? If everybody's scared, who does it benefit? It benefits tech companies because they're going to stay in and go on the tech.
Yeah, literally.
So they're going to broadcast the news, how much people have been kidnapped and this, that and the other. But it's not as common as we're led to believe.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But
it's like I said,
still parents are going to be like, yeah, but I don't care. I'm keeping my kid in.
Yeah, no, of course.
It's going to fuck your child up. Children need to go outside. Definitely. They need to experience the world. They cannot be having a social media account and socializing online is completely different. It's almost like eating empty calories. You need the real thing. You need the real interaction. So yeah,
100%. It's not. These things are not as common as we're led to believe, and it's literally like, you think of some of these crimes, some of these offences like rape. Like I said, rapists are not in a dark alley waiting for women wearing skirts to come down the alleyway. So they go, ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just not how the world works. I don't know if it ever worked like that.
Yeah. So alright. So this is his solutions as we come to the end of the book. Just to reverse, or not to reverse, but to try and bring society back to where it needs to be, which is nurturing children, teaching them how to develop and whatnot. But phone-free schools to free up their attention for the teachers and each other. He said, children who have phones in schools, you walk through the school and it's a zombie line. Everyone's like this the whole day. They don't interact with each other, and they're missing out on the interactions that you need to develop as a responsible person. Apple Vision and AI are about to make the world so much more social media addicted, so we need to do something today while we still can. No smartphones before secondary school, which is basically when your mind is still an adolescent, so still developing. No social media or internet until 16. Let children get through the biggest and most vulnerable changes to their mind, body and personality without the fire hose of social comparison and algorithmic chosen influencers and more unsupervised play. He explained that children are more than capable of policing themselves in a group. We don't need the teachers or parents to say, no, don't do that. The children need to socialise. They need to learn how to be nice, and they need to do that unsupervised, because it's different when the parent's there and it's different when they're by themselves. They need to be confident within themselves, and that's the opposite of anxiety. So depression, anxiety and self-harm, they're all on the rise, and it's all to do with social media. But yes, you have to go and read this book. It's very good. It's revolutionary. It's telling us things that we kind of knew, but it's giving us the information behind it. Because we all knew social media is not great for us mentally. We all know that. But we just think it's something else. I don't know. We try. It's like when you have an addiction, you try and blame everything else except for the actual.
Yeah, and it's normalised as well. It's normalcy because social media is such a normal place in our lives. Like we said, they got us all from early, innit? They've got us all from years ago. If you're my age, 24, 25, and you've been in social media since 12, 13, this has literally been a part of your life longer than most people in your life, excluding like close family members and whatnot. So you become accustomed to having social media there. So you're like, it's just there. And the thing is, it's never not going to be there. Now that it's here, it's never not going to be here. So it's not going anywhere. So we're definitely going to have to get some discipline, some self-control in life. Gonna have to get some self-control. I just gonna have to stop watching gay porn. I'm gonna have to.
No, I won't.
Gonna have to start.
I'm watching and laughing. Ha ha.
But I definitely stop giving it to the children. Like, stop giving children drugs.
One thing.
Take one thing away from this video.
Stop giving children drugs.
It's ridiculous.
That smartphone is a drug. It's a drug. It's an addiction.
Their bodies and their minds.
Stop giving it to your child.
They're not
shut them up
to handle drugs. Literally, imagine your child was just like wouldn't stop making noise. Here's some crack.
Yeah,
stop.
It's crazy. Literally,
never do that.
You're so right. You're so right.
It's ridiculous. Their bodies are not equipped to handle these kinds of things.
We are going to end with a quote of the day. Quote of the day, which has nothing to do with what we were talking about. And maybe we should start.
I know, right? But again, no one's watching. Fine, no one's watching. I mean, to be fair, more people was watching than the last time we said nobody's watching.
Yeah,
but
that's
still,
true. And that's improvement.
That's improvement. That's progress.
That's progress. Yeah. Quote of the day: forgetting is a human superpower. If we could remember how things felt, we would stop having wars and we'd stop having babies.
That is actually true.
Yeah, it's philosophical as fuck, isn't it?
So
remember, we got thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, as we grow, we're going to continue to give you some more content. I was going to say good content, but that's subjective. It's a load of rubbish, isn't it? Load of waffle.
Unless you bring the syrup next time.
So I guess we will see you guys next time.